Hello, good afternoon, guys. Okay, I believe you guys should be able to hear me now. Okay, let me check on the questions you guys have dropped. Good afternoon. Can you guys hear me now? All right, good. Okay. Wow. I believe we have plenty of questions. So, okay, let us take them one after the other. Okay. Please, not again. How to create variants in button and components. Please, kindly watch previous video for that answer. I believe we've moved past this. If you want to learn how to. Hello, good afternoon, guys. I forgot to mute the sites. I believe by now, all of this should be answered. So watch previous videos from previous classes. The answer to that is right there. Thank you. Why can't we use Figma for an entire zero task, then use each page? Oh, well, you can do that. Yes, answering this specific question, you can create a single file, you open the first page, you name it design thinking, second page, style guide, next page. But however, when you're submitting, you will submit link to that particular page. For example, I believe I demonstrated that before, but let me see if, So for example, right, you have all these pages. You can name this one is intro to design. This one can be design thinking. This one can be, let's say, library tasks. This one can be user research one. This one can be user research too. So, right, so now if, and on different page, let me copy this. I'll put this one here. Let me come back here. Let me copy this. I'll put this one here. Let me copy this, for example, and I'll put it here. So let's assume this is for tax. I want to submit link to design thinking. You come here, you click on it, right click, you copy link to page, or you come here, it's loading, and then you copy. That's one. If you want library tax, you come here, right click, link to page, or you come here. The what is it called? The link at each page changes. Same thing with this one. You just come, right click and copy the link. You come here, right click. So when the person opens it, take them directly to that page. So you can use a single file for everything. So yes, that is very, very much possible. If this has such a okay, so moving on to the next question here. My research looks funny and not realistic. Hope they won't grade me 0. And it is on EdTech. Well, That is not a question. I don't know how to explain. I don't know how I put it. I don't know how to answer that because this is like you making a statement saying your research looks funny and not realistic. Why do you think it's not realistic? I wouldn't know how to answer this because this is not exactly the same. Please, when my desktop says desktop frame, is there a particular size because the frame always covers the entire of my Figma board? I guess probably your screen size, but yes, for every frame you select, if you go to frame, for example, now I'm sure you all can see this. You have desktop. This is the size for desktop. So if I click on desktop, you see that it's having 10,024, 1,440, and the height is 10,024. If you go back here now, I decide to select, let's say, MacBook Air. This is the size for MacBook Air. Now, if you come and you decide to select MacBook Pro 14 inches, this is size for MacBook Pro 14 inches. So now the reason why this thing is taking your entire Figma space is because when you are zoomed in, as you can see, I'm zoomed in like this. You can see that my desktop screen has covered everywhere on my Twitter, my Figma page. It's a matter of being zoomed in. As you can see, I'm zoomed in. This one has also covered everywhere. This is this thing. If I zoom in, this one was also covered everywhere. It's a matter of zooming in and out. You zoom in, you zoom out, zoom in. This will cover everywhere when I zoom in. It's a matter of zooming in and out. I hope that answers your question. And yes, you can use different files for different tasks. If you don't want to share one single file, you want to be creating multiple files. The cocoa is ensure it is visible. That is anybody with the link. Like now, let's check this one. You see this file now? It has no access, meaning if I submit a link to this place, they will not see anything and I will score 0 because I did not give access. You can see that the padlock is locked and nobody can access it. So for that, ensure you always put that anybody with the link can view. Ensure this. If not, you score 0 and that will not be our fault. Sometimes my text becomes really tiny. What am I doing wrong? Okay, so the answer is you could probably be pressing minus on your end, and that's why it becomes so small. Or you select a small size here accidentally. You can probably, there's a way you accident. So anytime that happens, it's a matter of coming back here to increase the volume. You see, as you can see, I'm pressing command minus, zooming in and out. That's zooming in and out. So if you give it a small size, let's say 4, can you see it become very tiny? So if I take it back and give it 24 now, for example, it comes back big. I guess that's why sometimes my text become really tiny. What am I doing wrong? Yeah, you either reduce the size of this font or no. On the zero board, if it says you have leave, will I be able to? Okay, on the zero board, if it says you leave, you will not be able to join the elements ever. Does that mean if I use leave button, I can't join the next code? No, you can join next Kahoot, but you cannot join this code anymore. But in the next Kahoot, you have to re-register all over again. Product told us to link the interview in the Google Doc, and Google told us it's not necessary. You just need the questions. Yes. We just need the questions, actually. We just need the question in the interview. We don't need your answer. We are not interested in the answers you got. All we need is what is it called? All we need is just to see your questions that you drafted out. That's why we give you a template to follow. And that's all the question I have here on the sheet. So I've answered all of this. Now, okay, one thing with fonts is fonts are of different sizes. Some fonts are very tiny by nature, so you have to give them big sizes.
Maybe that.
Okay. All right, let me see if there's anything. I'm not supposed to answer anything on it. Oh, sorry, I didn't know I was muted. I hope you can hear me now. Well, I've answered all the questions I see. Okay, about the front thing, if you are using the web browser, probably you press Command minus or Command plus. On your web browser, it's zoom out, so it start becoming very small. So check the zoom of your web browser and also ensure that the size of your font you are using, it is the appropriate size. So I don't think you need to save your work as JPEG. I would advise you save it as PNG. A PNG version is always better. All you need to do is, for example, you select the frame, you click on export here, that plus sign, this plus sign in the export. Then you come here, there's JPEG, SVG, and PDF. But most times when I put JPNG, then I select ×3 or I select ×4. Either of these two. This is either one of these two that I select ×3 or ×4, ×3 or ×4. Sometimes if it's something little and I want to, I can do 6. I can write 6 by myself. So it's export ×6, depending on this ×6 meaning it multiply this ×6. That is this ×6 to make it clearer, but it to be heavy as well. Yes, all landing pages have footer. It's not how you go to any website. There is always a footer. Every landing page must have a footer. All landing pages have footer and they have header. Well, somebody has dropped another question. I created a component and I was trying to adjust it to the right so that I can indicate what its content is on the right side of the component, but my component keeps it keeps what? It keeps expanding to the left and not to the right where I want it. You have to go to the original component and probably in your settings, for example, it depends on when it is aligned. So you can use this to do the adjustment. You have the left alignment here, you have the center, you have the right, you have the top, you have the middle, you have the center, the middle, you have the bottom, you have the balance here, where you can distribute this or come this like that. So it all depends on, the option you are selecting. So you can use it to correct in the original component, not the variants where you are trying to adjust something in components. So go to the original document and check it there like that. Okay, how to use your already created style guide. Anything you create in your style guide, if they are in a component, for example, let's assume I made this here, this header now. I made this header a component, right? And it is here. And I want to reuse it in my design. Or let's now assume I want to use it on this page, for example. This is the page I want to use that component I created. The matter of coming to your widgets here, these resources here, you come to your components, you can see to tell you where components are. You can come here, and when I click it, you see that I've come to use that header there. I'm using it here because it has been added to your list of resources here. This icon, any components you created, you see them here. You see them as list here. They all come here. See this other one, see another one that I created, you see it. So anywhere you've created components, as long as you come, if you come here, see another component again. This one, another component I created, and I'm using it here. So any components you create, they will be stored here. So you can come anytime and use them. Okay, I believe there's no question anymore at this point. I've checked the sheet. I'm not saying. Okay, after I'm not supposed to be answering questions. I'm supposed to fill in the form, but then let me just answer you guys. So now, let's say after putting this inside auto layouts, right? And it's not, you wanted it vertical, but it's staying, you wanted it to arrange like this, but it's staying down. So the way to adjust the settings, you come here. Let me give it white color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you come here, you can change the direction to horizontal or vertical, or you can change the direction in different places here. These are what you use to change your settings for your auto layout. This is the panel for auto layout setting. So you change the settings to fit into whatever it is you want to do. Whatever you want it to do. Whatever you want it to do. Change the settings. Okay, so no more question. Thank you. I believe that will be the end of the session as I've answered all the questions I see on the sheets. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Checking, please, how can I pin a logo inside the circle? Use frame. You see, this is why I say you should not use rectangle and this thing. Use frame. If you use frame, you don't need to pin anything down. If you are using frame, let's say I need this frame to become a circle. So let's say this is 200 and this is 200. So in order for me to make that frame to become circle, I'll turn it to 2, or I'll put the radius corner to be 200 as well. And then I have my circle. Now I want to put an element inside. So I'm picking my text and I'm doing, let me now reduce the size to, let's say 16. No, 16 is too small. 32. So, and I'm putting it inside. So let's assume this is my logo and I want it to stay in the circle. As long as it's a frame, it will stay. But assuming I come here, because I'm trying to use circle, and I carry ellipse and I draw my circle, I give it by 200. And I want to put this logo inside. It will not, even if I bring it and it shows outside, it will not show. And you do this thing, it will not stay, because the moment I try to move, you can see that it has moved as scatter. So it's because it is an ellipse, it is a shape. This is meant for all these elements for shapes. are meant for ellipse and all these things. See, you can use it to draw, to design, to do whatever you want to do. You know, that's the job of this thing, to design all the extra weird things that we might need to design. That's all these things are for. So our advice, convert your frame into a circle and put your logo inside, and then you can carry it anywhere. It will not scatter. Anyway, okay. Believe that'll be the end of today's session. Thanks for joining.